Perfect. Okay, so I will make slides and share them with you guys later, so it has a little bit more organization, but I'm doing my best to not just blabber on team calls now. I want you guys to actually get something out of it instead of just motivational speeches. It's the sapphire in me. So anyways, I was looking for some inspiration for this kind of 2015 new year. Let's get ourselves in the right mindset. Let's start this out year great. So a fellow coach let me listen to her team call, and she's pretty awesome, and I just pretty much took notes from her team call, and I really wanted to share with you because I feel like, at least right now, I don't have any great new epiphanies to share with you, so I wanted to share at least something that I got out of them and share it with you. I just wanted to remind you guys, like, I absolutely love these team calls because I feel like we're a little family together, and it's awesome to see Meg, you know, and we're yelling at Steffi to get over here. Like, you guys are my little family. I say this all the time, but I truly believe it. And we're in this together. This business is so cool because we work as a community, we work as a family, we work as a team, and it actually helps to work as a team. And I know there's some new coaches and you're probably kind of overwhelmed, feeling like, what did I just get myself into? Like, how am I going to run a business? I don't know where to start. I know that the coaches back in 2013 didn't have any trainings whatsoever, and it was pretty much all passion, them trying to figure out things on their own. So I want new coaches to know you guys are not alone. All of us have been in this, you know, I've been almost 2 years now, and anybody else is less than 2 years, so we've all been in it together. So if you have questions, let us know, because we want to help you be successful, or at least somebody on this team has been through whatever you're going through, or we'll at least go through it together, so you're never alone. So I want to talk about our why. Big surprise. I want to talk about, since 2015 is coming up and we all have all these great big goals, or we have little goals. Anyways, it's a time of reflecting and trying to build new goals for our future. So we have these goals, and they probably stem off of your why. And if you think about it, if your why isn't strong enough, then you won't work very hard for that why. If your why is just like, oh, I want to lose 2 pounds, like, you aren't going to work hard for that if that why doesn't mean something like, what does that 2 pounds mean for you? Does it mean you're going to finally fit into those skinny jeans and you're going to feel confident and you're going to go out there and want to help people? Like, you really have to break down your goals and realize that they are actually whys. So if you have a weight loss goal, what is the why behind that? Like, hey, I want to lose 20 pounds, and then I can chase my kid around the house, and then I won't be exhausted afterwards. So just think of these goals, and don't just be like, here's a goal, here's a goal, here's a goal. Think about, like, what the meaning is behind each goal. So I posted earlier, there was a post about the 3 vital behaviors, and I don't know if you guys noticed, but I have this underlined: consistency. The consistency is the behavior behind these skills or tools. The consistency is the skill, and the vital behaviors are your tools. You know, the inviting, the being proof the products work. And really, it's the consistency is the never giving up, which is Beachbody's like anthem for 2014. And it was all over Summit, plastered everywhere. Never give up. And it's tenacity. And if you ask any top coach, they have tools. They have, you know, Coach Basics. They have challenge groups. They have inviting. They have transformation photos. But it's the getting up after falling down 8 times. It's the 10,000 ways that didn't work, finding the one that does. It's really you just getting back on your horse. Sometimes, like, I know we've all been there, is like life just throws you down and you're like, I don't want to get up. I'm over this. Like, why am I still doing this? So that's when you go back to your why and how important is it to you. If your why is strong, you will get back up that 11th time, that 12,000th time, you will get back up. So just keep thinking about how important are these goals for you? Are you going to get back on that horse? Are you going to put that push play, So let's talk about goal setting and actually coming up with these things. So writing down your goals isn't going to make them happen. It would be awesome if there was some magic book and you write it down and then they start appearing, but that's just not how it works. So let's think, I want 2015 to kind of be like your year. Like, this is the year stuff starts happening for you. Like, you start feeling like, oh my gosh, life is really amazing. Let's do it. So if you start keeping in the mindset, like, 2015 is my year. Like, I cannot fail. Like, just imagine if you woke up January 1st and you knew this is going to be the best year of your life. Like, what would you do? What do you want to see happen? Like, this is the best year of your life. What do you want to see happen in that? So it's time to rev up your inner drive and start being excited. Be enthusiastic about making the changes and making these goals happen. So you have to kind of know your why before your how. And when you set goals, ask why you want them. Why do I, like I said earlier, why do I want to lose those 20 pounds? Why do I want to make Beachbody my full-time income? What would that change my life for me? And how would that make 2015 the best year ever for me? So if you have a deep, core-rooted why, you'll figure out the how. And if your why is big enough, then the how is easy. I don't know if you guys remember this analogy or story from Darren Hardy, but he talks about how if you were on top of two 10-story buildings and he had just a little 4x4 going from one building to the next and he wanted you to walk across it, you'd be like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to fall 10 stories down. It's not worth it to me. But say then you're still standing on it and then all of a sudden the building across the street is on fire and your baby is in the window, you don't care if it's just a 4x4. You are going to find a way to get over there and save your child. So just think about the difference the perspective is and how important your why just became. I had to change my life to save my family, to save myself, to save my children. So you have to just look at your goals and your whys, what would my life change? How is this going to make my world completely different and better the way I want it? So just change that perspective instead of being whatever, I got time, I have the whole year to work on my goals. The fire is burning now. You need to start stepping up and crossing that plank to get over to your goals now. What's back there is just gone. Let's move on and make 2015 the best year ever. So the way I've known top successful people just in general, they self-reflect. And they go back and look at what didn't work for them. Is there someone that doesn't have their mic muted? All right, I just was echoing. Now it's gone. Okay, so successful people in life, they reflect on what works and what doesn't work, because what's that quote go that says if you keep doing the same thing over and expecting a different reaction or a consequence or a different outcome, it's going to come out differently, or it's not going to come out differently, and that's insanity. Thinking you're going to do the same thing over. So as coaches and as people in general in life, we can't expect to keep eating pizza and lose weight in the end. I know, I tried, doesn't work. Anyways. And so you can't expect your business to not grow. You can't expect yourself to grow. You can't expect your relationships to change if you don't make the change. So when you do self-reflection, I don't know if you guys need to ask questions to yourself, but ask yourself, hey, what in 2014 was working for me? What was helping me see progress either with my weight loss, with my business, in my relationships? When was I feeling good? So maybe you need to ask, I don't know, some topic words that I've come up with are such as like excuses. What was a priority back then? When I was doing good, what was I making a priority? And when I was doing bad, what was a priority then? Maybe it was watching Netflix marathons. Maybe I was just doing the Facebook scroll. Like this also, I want to remind you guys, this call can cover, I don't want this to just be Beachbody because like I said, I want 2015 to be your best year ever. So that could be taking Beachbody to the next level for you. That could be just you feeling like a better person overall. Like seriously, it's up to you guys. So I'm giving you guys examples, but don't take it as all I care about is Beachbody because you guys know that's not true. So, all right, disclaimer out of the way. So more like example words are like, well, was I willing to work? Did I not put the work in? Was I feeling empowered? Was I empowering my team? Was I empowering my challengers? And gratitude. Gratitude is huge. And then you can ask questions like, was I being loyal to myself? Was I being loyal to my goals, to my partner, to my challengers, to my team? And was I listening? So these are kind of just ways that you can just, self-reflecting doesn't have to be hard. It's just asking and being honest with yourself, what works, what doesn't. So for 2014, I'm going to give you guys like a little exercise that you guys can do later. But if you guys just write short, quick list, if you just write the 5 best things that happened to you in 2015 or 2014, write those out and think about them. You can even do kind of make this a bigger list if you want. If you want to write the 10 best things that ever happened to you, it's up to you. But it just needs to get the brain juices and creative juices flowing. And then, so after writing the best things that happened in 2014, answer the 5 lessons you learned in 2014. And I will be honest, budgeting needs to be added to the list to do for 2015. And there's tons of things. I could go on forever how not perfect I am. And I also wanted to give you one more example. I want you guys, you don't have to share it with me, but describe 2014 in one word. Like, I know some people put out into the world, like, you know, I keep saying the best year yet. But now that we're reflecting back on 2014, what was the actual outcome? Like, how do you feel about 2014 for yourself? And I just spent the last half an hour trying to come up with my word, and it was more like, you guys are going to laugh at this, but it was like, failure, trial by error. I'm just laughing at myself because I had such huge goals for 2014, and I didn't even come close to them. So I have to say that my one word described for 2014 was experience. I learned a lot of hard lessons in 2014, and I think that's going to really help me in 2015 to be more logical, but still dream big, but just realize how much work I need to put in. But that's just me, so I'm just giving you an example. Don't worry, we're halfway done, guys. You're doing so good. So I want to talk about gratitude. Oprah Winfrey said, be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you'll never, ever have enough. And I have to give a shout out to Steffi because I know she was like the one that pretty much started this little trend. But she every day asks at the beginning of the day what people are thankful for, what they're grateful for. And she has this little gratitude post. And she's been so consistent with that I'm pretty sure people look for that gratitude post. Even though they don't say anything, they're kind of like, oh, there's Steffi's gratitude post. Maybe I will write something. Maybe I will. And I'm sure they write it when they're actually feeling happy that day, or it just helps them reflect whether they share with her or not. So good job, Steffi. And I know Kyle has been like awesome and been like joining on that bandwagon. So I think that's wonderful because you are being like examples to people about how they need to start their day with gratitude. And I shared this little blog post the other day because I was just in a nasty mood. I kept thinking about The Secret, and I kept having the phrase attitude of gratitude kept going off in my head, and the little segment about the gratitude rock. So I just remember I was like, I need to just get out of this funk. I don't want to be unhappy anymore. So I just started writing a list of everything I was grateful for. And then, seriously, 5 minutes later, I was like, oh, I love my kitty. Oh, I'm so grateful to live in a safe neighborhood. And so all of a sudden, like, it changed. And I was no longer dwelling on sadness, frustration, bad things. And I was in a better mood. So seriously, it works. So all I know is when you guys start focusing on the things that you're happy for, and I'm sure we could all just look on the news and see the bad things are happening and realize like, wow, I'm so blessed. I had no idea. But when you change that perspective, then you can start being more accepting of the good things that you have in your life, which opens you up for more and more. I remember Danny Johnson said on this topic that I always remember, and she says, she was talking about how can I expect life to give me a mansion if I can't even take care of my apartment? And it's pretty much true. Like, how can you be so overwhelmed and have this ginormous thing given to you, but you aren't prepared to know how to deal with it or take care of it? And that can deal with like budgeting. You don't just get $1 million. You get a little increase, and you start to get better and better at handling it. And it's just like being a manager or a coach. You know, at first you have just one challenger, and you're like, I don't know how Katie Hefner does it with 300 coaches. Like, I will never be able to handle that many people. But you're not expected. So you learn section by section, little growth by little growth. And then you have this ginormous thing and you can handle it. So pretty much, you know, be happy with what you have, and then the universe will start giving you a little bit more and more. So what you focus on, you bring about. And if you don't, so when we're talking about what we're focusing on, so if we're focusing on negative, we're only going to see the negative things. And I know some coaches get frustrated. They're like, I just don't have time. I don't have time to work out, or I don't have time to focus on this business. But really, you have to ask yourself, like, if you say you don't have time, then there you go. You don't have time because you are not being open to finding time. I don't know how many times I've said, well, what do you do in the morning? Can't you get up 30 minutes earlier to get your workout in? And they're like, I guess. And I'm just like, well, there you go. There's the time. But they don't think of it that way. So you just have to realize these little things, they actually make a huge difference for you in your perspective as well as helping others. And when you start being positive, you start seeing and you start being open to these kind of things like changes. All right, here is the time where I want you guys to write stuff down. If you don't have a piece of paper, I mentioned I will post slides later on. I'll actually make it fancy for you guys. I just didn't have time to do it today. So I wanted to share with you guidelines to goal setting. Are you ready? Okay. Thanks, Robin. All right, so don't just think it, ink it. I-N-K-I-T. So when you have goals, write them down. I know earlier we said that, you know, they don't just happen just because you write them down. But when you write them down, it's like one step closer into the universe. You're taking the first step. I know I write my goals on a special pretty piece of paper for the year, and I put it up where I'm going to see it so I can reflect on it or remember it daily. So that's a huge huge helpful reminder when you see something that you want frequently. All right, number 2, suspend reality. So what I mean by suspending reality is I don't care how scary or how hard it sounds or how unrealistic your goals are. Like, just forget about that. Like, if you think, I want to get a new car this year, but you already have maybe some debt or you just don't have good credit, I don't care. We're just going to put it out there that you want a car. We'll figure it out as we go along. And you know, anything is possible. So seriously, don't knock it out of the park just because it hasn't happened for you yet. Number 3 is think big. This was Beachbody's coach like motto like in 2013, and it was dream big. So like I said, if you want a new car, you're gonna get a new car. Let's just put it out there. We'll figure it out as we go along. And you know, like, there's some just goals of mine, and I'm sure you have them too, they make your palms sweat. You know, they make you scared. You're like, I don't know how the heck I'm ever going to do this because this is just not me. Or I just have no idea how this is possible because this has never happened to me. Or, you know, like, I don't know how I'm going to be a millionaire. I don't know, but people do it. And so it's like, you can't, like I said, you can't say that it doesn't happen because it does. So whatever your big, scary goal is, and normally that big, scary goal is probably connected to your deep-rooted why goal. Maybe it's being able to retire your husband or your wife, having her be able to stay home with the kids, whether you guys want to both retire and be able to be home with your families. Maybe that's like learning how to take care of your body better if you have like health issues. It could be so many different things. But usually like our scariest, biggest goal that really is so deep-rooted inside of us is the same thing or connected to our why. And then next one is state, S-T-A-T-E, positive. So all our goals, I want to challenge you guys to put them in words that are positive words, like things that are going to, like, you feel good when you write them. Yeah, they're scary, but like, wouldn't it be so amazing if they came true this year? And then the next one is similar, and it's state your goals in the I am. So I am so happy now I'm at my goal weight, or I am so happy that I make $1,000 a week. Whatever they are, put them like they're already happening, you know, so you can start feeling that good feeling that you would feel if they were happening. And then the last one, I want you guys to reflect on your goals that you've made for 2015 and ask yourself, are these your goals? I know when we grow up, like our parents say like, well, this is what you should do. This is, you know, how you should live your life. So you need to reflect and make sure that these goals are what you want for yourself and your life and your family. So that because you're motivated by someone else, it's not going to last forever. So make sure that these are what get your heart pumping, that gets your blood running and get you all excited to make them happen. All right. So that's all for my guidelines section. And then I want to talk a little bit more about your goals, of course. And I want to talk about how, I don't know if you guys have done Chalene Johnson's push, but she talks about, and Darren Hardy talks, Darren Hardy, yeah. Broken record. They all talk about how, like, you need to find balance with your goals. I think what was hard for me last year is I made a lot of business goals. And I made no personal goals. You know, I did make a goal of trying to get, you know, healthier and fit. But that was, like, the only personal one. So Shalene Johnson teaches about like finding balance in life and how important that is. So I want to go over the 8 topics of balance in your life, and I want you to make at least 1 to 3 goals in these sections. So number 1 is business. Number 2 is financial. Number 3 is physical. So that's where you can like put your health goals. Number 4 is mental. I know like some people will be like, I want to start meditating, or like I want to start like reading positive books or listening to positive music or finding like some way to lift your spirit. And number 5 is family. So whatever is important to you with your family, rekindling relationships, improving relationships. Number 6 is spiritual. So that kind of, to me, spiritual and mental kind of, to me, are very similar. So that's up to you guys on what your perspective is on it. 7 is lifestyle. And number 8 is relationships. And I only have 10 minutes, so I'm trying to wrap it up faster. But I will have those listed if you guys didn't catch them. So the important part about trying to make goals in all these sections is so you're well-rounded. So, I'm like I said, I made a lot of goals in my business area. And when those didn't go the way I planned, I kind of felt like I failed 2014. And that's not very fair of me, but I'm very hard on myself and just feel kind of bad about it. But if I had made goals where, it was more self-centered, or self-respecting, like I want to make some new friends, or, like I want to enjoy meditating now, or I want to do some yoga. If I did those things like that, I wouldn't be so hard on myself at the end of the run, and I wouldn't be so, mad at myself or feeling like I failed because all my goals were in one category. So I just want you guys to remember that so that you guys can find things that you're like, I don't know if you guys are like me, you'll make a to-do list and it feels so good when you knock something off. I vacuumed the house. Yeah, it feels so good. I got one thing done. Or I went to the post office. And you just feel a little bit better because you did it. So it's like, if you started meditating for the year, you feel so good at the end because you did it. But when you do things that are a little bit harder and then you don't see the results that you wanted, of course you're going to be hard on yourself because you have nothing good that happened. So keep that in mind because I don't want anybody crying the blues come 2015 December. Also, I want you guys to make timelines for your goals. And kind of goes back into the guidelines that we talked about when you said, I am so happy now, X, Y, and Z. And so say something like, I am so happy now that I'm at my goal weight by March 2015. Or I am so happy that I started making $1,000 a week by October 2015. Give yourself a date. It gives you a little bit more accountability and a little bit more time pressure instead of a whole year. And so Beachbody was talking about how they really want us to break down our goals. I want it to be elite. And so you need to be, by 6 months in, you have to have a certain amount of points. So what you need to do to be on top of your goals is maybe you want to be an elite Beachbody coach. Or maybe you want to be a 5-star diamond. So by March, you need to ask yourself, well, how many diamonds do I need to be by then? Or how many new coaches do I need to be adding to my team? Or how many challenge packs should I be selling if I want to make $1,000 a week by December? So when you break down these big goals, they're going to be so much more doable to you than, oh, here's this far off thing. I don't know how I'm ever going to get it, but I'm going to get there. So when you break that down, it's going to be so much easier. So I want you guys to, hold on, I need my cup. So get a calendar. And I write on my calendar so much. I even have a little planner one to take with me, and they look identical because I'm always writing on both of them. But I'll break it down. I'll be like, whether it's a weight loss goal, a financial goal, business goal, or maybe it's even like your relationships or something, like I want to go on a date night once a month. So schedule out your date night, or schedule out, I need to lose 5 pounds by the end of the month. Like, and when you check in, you're going to be like, hey, I'm not there yet. So you need to just hold yourselves accountable. This, like, planning goals is pretty much like a challenge group. We have to hold each other accountable. I'm on your team. I'm here to help you guys. And we pretty much have to learn as we go. And 2014 for me was just experience, learning things. So I really want you guys to make the most out of 2015 and make it your year. Like, I'm so excited for you guys. I don't know if it's just the built up momentum, but I can see that all of you guys have this fire, or else you wouldn't be on this call tonight. You guys are ready to make changes. And that's the tenacity that's going to help you guys be successful in the long run. So I hope that these help for you. I know it's just kind of, goal setting is always to me something kind of reflective, and yeah, I've heard this before, but hopefully something stood out to you and at least revved up your engine so you guys feel excited about what 2015 has in store for you and what you guys are going to make in store for you. You guys are all in charge of your lives. Like, this is you in control. Like, you can't wait for me to do it for you, as much as I wish I could help you guys all, but we all are on this and all experiencing this together. So hopefully this helped for you. I'm wrapping it up really quickly because I'm scared it's going to cut me off. Post in our group if you guys have questions. I know you guys are going to be awesome. So that's all I have to share tonight. Thank you for getting on. I really appreciate it. And Happy New Year! All right. Okay, have a good night, guys. Thanks for getting on and listening to me, and I will see you guys all later. Bye.